Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Pramila Kumar, for the question. Before I do so, it would be remiss of me, and I apologize for missing this out in my previous response. It does cut into my answer for this question. To acknowledge PhysioNet UK, sir, collaborating with the Vodafone ATH Foundation in a huge donation that they made yesterday to the National Council for People with Disabilities, donating $1.2 million worth of assistive devices. And this includes motorized scooters, multiple wheelchair types and designs, hospital beds, both electronic and manual, commodes, shower chairs, crutches, medical consumables, adult diapers, gloves, face masks, and sanitary pads. Honourable Speaker, it does relate to this question because, of course, these organizations and the donations they make are not just limited to people living with disabilities. In fact, they are donations also made and accessible to people who are on social pensions. So our elderly who are also accessing these assistive devices as well. So I acknowledge their support to the government to assist our people living on pensions. And on that note, sir, I also wish to respond to Honourable Ketan Lal, because I see him throwing his hands up, in terms of his response to the anti-porn task force. Please, I urge him to attend the meetings, because he can't just come and bark here and not attend our working group meetings, not informed of the progress of the work. So please, attend the meeting, then come and report correctly to Parliament. Honourable Speaker, the research and studies have found that income inequalities is prevalent in old age, and most of us are almost in that category. So we do need to be concerned about what is available for us as we go into this age category. Rapid population growth combined with lack of adequate social security will likely increase poverty amongst older persons. The latest statistics released by UNESCAP clearly indicated that 10% of our total population are under the older persons category. And it's also forecasted an increase to 15% by 2050. So what is the relevance to this answer? The ministry is in the process of formulating its aging policy. Because of 15% of our population, we do need to do a deep dive into how we can make our people with older persons have a more meaningful quality of life. Now, Honourable Speaker, the coalition government is committed to our people living with older persons in this category who are accessing the social pension. Our social pension scheme is one of the best in the Asia-Pacific region. And this was acknowledged recently during our regional conference on population aging in Bali, Indonesia, where our Director of Social Protection was asked to be part of the panel discussion on how we can enhance old age financial security in the emerging Asia-Pacific, and using Fiji as an example. Now we've got to recognize that there's an ongoing evolution of social assistance looking at a comprehensive life cycle approach. So just because you turn 60 doesn't mean everyone forgets you. It happens. It happens.
Order.
Honourable Speaker, to correct Honourable Pramila Kumar stating that there's no bus fare assistance for 65 and under, they are receiving assistance, bus fare assistance 65 and under. And her concern about them not receiving it, I think she's been misinforming the House. They continue to be on bus fare assistance. Now, the only thing that has changed is that those that are turning 60 after the 1st of August, yes, they will not be receiving it. Why? Because the retirement age has increased to 60. They continue to work to 60. That's what the coalition government brought about. There is financial security until 60. There is a buffer zone of 5 years to 65 where they have the ability to support themselves, Honourable Speaker. When it was 55 retirement, they started from 60. So what happened to the 5 years there? Why couldn't we say, why didn't it start from 55? Same logic. So please, just reflect a little bit. Reflect a little bit. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I want to acknowledge the previous government. From 2013, where the social pension was implemented in terms of the amount given for age 70 and above, and then it was reduced to 68, then to 66, and it's now 65. Honorable Speaker, again, I reiterate, the coalition government increased the retirement age. So in fact, under the previous government, from 55 to 65, they were on their own. They were not entitled to a social pension scheme. They were not taken care of. In fact, their FNPF balances were deteriorated. So it created poverty amongst those who had retired at 55. We have bridged that gap to 60 and given financial security for our older persons. And yes, they can sustain themselves. For bus fare assistance, they can sustain themselves to 65, where then they will get the cash transfer. And with the cash transfer, they're not limited to the bus, which is what they didn't do. Now they can travel in the fiber, they can travel in a minivan, in a taxi. Gives them the quality of life and ability to travel. Honorable Speaker, under our reform agenda, we continue to try to ensure that monitoring of the social pension scheme is done properly. This government, Honorable Speaker, committed to digitizing our records. It has been a nightmare trying to digitize these manual records. Missing records, trying to bring in to digitize has taken a long time.
Under 60, relevance. She's wasting everyone's time. I've asked a specific question, I need a specific answer. Don't go around beating around the bush. Come to the point. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Please continue, Honourable Minister.
Honourable Speaker, let me remind the member of her question. Can the Minister inform Parliament on the measures in place to ensure accountability in the government's management and distribution of the social pension? If we are digitizing our records, we are making it mainstream so that we can ensure those who are not supposed to be on the program will not scheme off the program. For example, when we have manual records, Honourable Speaker, members of the family are accessing this pension because we don't have the manual records. It goes to someone's M-Pesa or mobile phone, and we've lost record of that. So it's manually recorded, and we cannot trace back that information. Honourable Speaker, by digitizing, we can ensure it's tagged to the person's birth registration number. And I thank the BDM, the Ministry for Justice, who've come on board so that through the digitization process, we are now talking to BDM, we're now talking to FNPF, we're now talking to other stakeholders like FERCA, so we are ensuring, we are identifying that this is the one same person. Honourable Speaker, what happens, Honourable Speaker, is if we lose track of an older person and we're trying to find that person, what we do, Honourable Speaker, and it works every single time, we stop the payment because the payment is going to another family member. Listen, we stop the payment, and sure enough, Honourable Speaker, that older person, sorry, not that older person, the family member who's been receiving comes to us to ask, we haven't been receiving the money. So we ask them, where is the person who is receiving these funds? Please give us the contact details. Oh, my grandfather has moved to another village. We need to trace that person down, so we find that person so that that person is receiving the benefit and not a family member. That's what we are trying to fix for better management and accountability of our social pensions. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.